And we are back. So they're all checking their equipment list and trying to figure out what they got left. Okay then. So thank you, Ratto. Okay then. So let me just tell you. Let me bring you up to date with what has happened. So this is episode 3, I think. So
big, you haven't got it, mate.
In episode one, the runners were actually hired by a street doc called Ida to actually intercept some medical supplies. So the idea was that one of the van would be parked somewhere and the runners would go up behind it and take some medical supplies out. They were given a contact of Mike Sawyer, who was somebody who was able to give them the location, etc. Unfortunately, Mike Sawyer decided to give them, ask them for a favour, and they were presented with some information that they had to go and stop and retrieve from a secretary some incriminating film. So the party went off and actually went into what could only be described as a very posh apartment store to actually raid the secretary's, who was called Farah, apartment store. They got there and found that they couldn't open the safe. So what they actually did was that they took the safe with them. All seemed to be fine, and they got the data chips and then hoped that they could possibly actually then use these for blackmailing purposes in the future or something similar. Anyway, shortly in the next adventure, there was a request for the safe and the data chips back. The runners naturally took the bait and went off to decide whether or not they could actually retrieve the safe. They met up with Mike Sawyer again, but unfortunately when they returned back to their apartment, they found it had been ransacked and they had lost everything, and there was a surprise of another runner group there waiting for them. They quickly dispatched these people, but then felt that they were homeless and went off and actually camped out in a motel. While they were in the motel, the clever Decker, FaZe, actually traced his gun, which of course has his own marks on it, and found that it was being kept in a company called Translocation, which is where Farah actually works. He also traced Mike Sawyer's comlink, which was in the location of Ida's clinic. And that is where we will pick it up this week. So guys, you are in a motel. I think, let me just put up the map, because I think FaZe has, so what's your thing called, FaZe, that you have? Sprawl something.
Oh yes, I have Sprawl Life, don't I?
Yeah.
Southside Sport Life.
So FaZe knows all the apartments. He's really up on it. So you're at Folly Days Inn. You can see it there on the map. I'll just zip that. Yeah, can you see where it is? Mm-hmm. That's where you are. You can see Ida's place, and you can also see a translocation as well. You've got one room, I think, already. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
over to you guys.
So we're going to go to the clicking chopsticks. No.
Okay.
Not really.
I think we should.
I thought we were going to Seattle, skipping town.
Yeah.
In Wales.
Okay. So once
That
see
first
if they
roll
got
was
room.
my
Right.
combat sense when we go anywhere.
Yeah, okay then. One success. That's cool.
So once Billy Bob's back from going to see Handbrake after the run, or after escaping the apartment, and Carrot's rested and recuperated, and at least got some of the boxes back, so he's not falling over dead.
Yeah, so this will
To
probably
roll for that, haven't I?
that was
it's done.
we done
We did
that,
that, yeah.
and
Yeah.
this will be the next morning. Just to let you know, Carrot, it takes a day to remove your magical lodge. Only a day to get rid of it. It takes you the number of days equal to the rating of your magic lodge to erect it. So it's a lot easier to get rid of it. Yeah.
I've left it running. I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah.
I just left it.
Yeah, cool.
So I think that our best course of action is first of all to head off to Ida's, and let's see whether or not Mike's there and what condition he's in, and whether or not he can give us any information on what's gone down. It
Cool.
could be just his comlinks there, but I'm putting money on it that
He's there.
that translocation's got to him to maybe get some information out from us.
And then whilst we're on the way, I will ring him as well on the comlink, because he might be there and he might be able to pick up. And if he doesn't pick up, then it could be a nurse
Somebody
or something.
else
that picks
might.
up. Yeah.
Okay, are you walking to Ida's place, or are you taking Rusty Rosie?
Actually, it's not all that far. It's only
Yeah,
couple
it's
of
just
blocks.
down the road.
It's only
Yeah.
a couple of blocks away. We're going to
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll walk it.
yeah. Okay
Yeah.
then.
We'll leave the car parked.
So, Carrot, when you actually ring the comlink or get in touch with the comlink, it just sort of like rings forever, and there's no pickup at all. It's either not on him, or it's broken, or he's not picking up. One or the
Okay.
other.
Mike's not picking up, by the way. It just rings through.
Right. Okay. He might not be able to pick up.
Can I also please remind you that last week you met with Mike, and he gave you the situation that they were changing the van locations. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
And that he would actually go, and he only got the which van he was driving on the morning of the on the transportation, and if you remember, you told him that he had to go get the number, excuse himself to go to the toilet, to the bathroom, and then when he was there to contact you guys, and then on the way, and then it would drive, and you would follow the van, because the route was changing every single time, because obviously Translocation had actually lost some things in the past.
But he also didn't know when the medical supply run would be happening.
Correct. Yeah, because it is.
So at the moment, he's really our only lead
Yes.
to find out when it's going to be, because Translocation's host is slightly too powerful for FaZe to actually get in.
Yeah, you had one go at it and failed. I think that's what happened.
But in fairness, he was a distance away.
I mean, I could probably get into it if needs must, but it would have to be a very quick run. It would have to be sort of like open a door for you or something like that, and then get back out. I couldn't spend any time. I would need a lot of luck when I was in there.
Oh, that's something you have though, FaZe, isn't it? A lot of luck.
I have 4 luck left.
Cool.
I used 1 to kill your mage. Right.
You've had a long rest though, so those luck points will be back. Your edge will be back now.
Oh, excellent.
Is that for me as well?
Yeah, because they replenish after
Cool.
a long rest, so to speak.
And yours, Billy Bob, your edge is back.
Billy
I
Bob
don't think I
doesn't
used
need
my
edge.
1 edge.
You save it for negotiation rolls.
Intimidation, I think. Yeah.
Intimidation, don't you?
Cool.
No, he saves it for sweet talking handbrake.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, please. Edge.
Free edge. Okay, so yeah, we're going to head to Ida's.
Okay. What would you like to do once you get there?
Who's
We want
about?
to-
Say again, so.
Who's about? Is it open? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you remember, we've actually got, I thought we had, that, I thought, did I show?
Well, there's an outer area, isn't there, where the down and outs go to begin with. But as long as if the inner doors are open, then we'll
Oh yeah,
head in.
I mean, there it is. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely because it's the blurry one, if you remember. And this is what it looks like. So it looks something like that.
It's blurry.
Yeah. So, but the outer door's open, and she's ready. She's busy doing business, if that makes sense. So she's sort of like inviting people in. You see that she's got a number of assistants walking around, some clearing the floor, some taking sterilized boxes of equipment backwards and forwards. She's quite busy. But she sort of like looks at you as if and says, "You got the supplies?"
No, I go up to her and say, "No, we're here to see Mike Sawyer. Apparently, he is here."
Yeah, he came in a very, very rough. She brings her hand up to her mouth, and then suddenly realises that she doesn't have her cigarette in it, and so like goes. Obviously, she's working, and says, he came in last night, rather beaten up.
It's all right if we go and see him.
She says, yeah, and she points to the third room along.
I say thank you very much, and I will start walking towards Mike Sawyer's room.
Okay, what does the rest of you would like to do?
I'll take a seat in the foyer.
If you just ping where you want to sit.
Which is this it here? Oh, no, I can't ping at the moment. Is this it here?
That's sort of like the waiting room, yeah.
Yeah, and where's the
this is the waiting room, and he was the third one in, so he's in this door here.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to I'll sit myself down, sort of somewhere maybe down here, so that I've got a good view of the corridor coming up to it.
Good point. What about you, Billy Bob? Whereabouts? Would you
I was going to say I was going to do the thing. I was going to sit down in the waiting room.
Okay.
And, keep an eye on the corridor.
So both of you are in the waiting room, keeping an eye on the corridor. Carrot, you go into the room. All beds are actually full in there. There's all 3 of them. Mike's in the one nearest to the southern wall, the one that's sort of like by himself. He seems to be quite beaten up. He's got a lot of bruising over his face. He's got a lot of electrical gadgets attached to his head, obviously monitoring brain waves, EEGs and things like that, probably keeping him, preventing him or monitoring some kind of coma. He's just in a gown. And you can see just at the foot on the bed, in the little box on the table at the bottom, all his sort of like personal goods. And you can see that his comm link is actually there, but it's actually it's working. it is actually working, and as FaZe could have told you, but it's obviously he's not picking up because he's quite badly beaten up. It looks like he's got some kind of, his left arm has is encased in some metal. Do you have anything like a medical knowledge or anything like that skill?
Nope, nothing.
Okay, so his left arm is encased in metal, and so is his right leg, and it's plugging to various electrodes, and wiring is going into underneath the bed, which is quite solid, and there's lots of readings coming out of it. It's like lights flickering and things like that.
Do I see if he's awake?
No, he's not awake. He looks like you from the bruising around his face, you either figure he's sleeping or he's comatose, one or the other.
Can I look around to see if there's a chart of any sort, like a medical chart of any sort?
Well, there's a reading, there's sort of like ticker tape coming out of the, like a receipt coming out of the equipment underneath the bed that seems to show a wiggly line like that, and another wiggly line above it, which you assume might be, just roll your roll double your logic, so add them together and then just roll them together.
8 successes.
Yeah, you figured that's his heartbeat and his his breathing. He's definitely alive. He's probably, you think, in a coma due to some kind of head injury.
Okay. Can I sort of like go through his, look through his personal belongings and like the comlink to see if he had any other calls apart from mine?
Poke him.
Yeah, you won't be able to. Do you have a computer skill?
No.
No. So you won't be able to because it activates on his SIN. So once it's connected to him, it will activate on his SIN. And this helmet that is this metal helmet on him at the present moment in time prevents you actually attaching him. Somebody like FaZe with his computer knowledge and his deck might be able to hack into it. There's also, just so you know, on there's some loose sort of like certified cred sticks on there. There's his clothes, his Translocation outfit, as you know, he always wears. And there's like a little shoulder bag as well.
Okay. Can I have a quick look around the room to see what the other two people, what state the other two people are? As in, are they awake? Are they conscious?
No, they both seem to be in a similar state as Mike. Sorry, you figure when you come in, you remember. Just roll a memory check. Yeah, you remember on the doorway as you came into this, it said intensive care on the door.
So you said he had a uniform cred sticks. Does he have like an ID pass, or is that SIN on his SIN?
Yeah, people don't have ID passes. They tend to all be working on SIN.
Okay. Can I? What would happen if I did a heal roll on him magically? Would it work or would it not work now?
You probably won't know until you've tried it.
Over my sub vocals, I'm going to ask FaZe and I will apprise FaZe and Billy Bob of his situation. I think he's in some sort of coma. He's beat up pretty bad. He's been beaten up pretty bad. His face is all black and blue, and he's got metal on an arm and a leg, which could be cast maybe or something. I don't know. I think he's out cold. Should we just like leave it and go, or do you want me to try and heal him? But I don't know how Ida would feel about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't try healing him. I would leave that to the professionals.
No,
offense.
offense taken.
Keep an eye out on Billy Bob. I'm going to go into the room as well.
Did you say that you mentioned his uniform, Carrot, but then you mentioned his comlink? Did you want to actually search his uniform or not?
I'll have a quick sort of like rifle through. Yes, please.
Okay then. So do you have anything relating to perception?
I have perception itself.
You don't have anything else sort of like to cascade down onto it? Because I think it cascades down onto searching, which would have been a better...
Where would searching be? No, I don't have...
It's a specialisation, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Okay,
I've got
then...
perception itself.
So roll perception, but just put a -1 on the dice roll.
Yeah. I got 4
Oh,
successes.
nice. 4 out of 6.
Yeah. Well, 4 out of...
Which
5.
is
4 out of 5,
4
because
out
it was a -1.
4 out of 5. So you roll 5 dice. 4.53% of getting that.
Get in.
That was fantastic.
do the lottery.
You
I
do
might now.
you do notice something attached to and his sort of like his jacket that you've seen before. It seems to be like an RFID tag.
Is it just does it have any writing or logos on it, or is
No.
it just an RFID blank one?
Just seems to be a blank one.
I'll ignore it for the moment, not touch it, and whilst I wait for FaZe to come in, and I'll ask him about it.
Yeah,
is there
FaZe, what would you like to do? Because you're coming into the room now, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a comlink.
Yeah.
We've got an RFID tag. Can I have a quick look in the bag as well?
Yeah. Well, basically, there seems to be some kind of false-looking apple, some kind of synth fruit there. There seems to be a pack of sandwiches that have been sort of like wrapped up, and there seems to be a few papers to sign. It looks like he's buying a new apartment.
Okay. Oh no, there won't be any keys or anything to it or anything like that. Does it say where the apartment is?
Yeah, it's in Upper South Side. So it's sort of like, I'll just whack you onto the map. It looks like it's sort of like just above, just near Silverhorn Apartments. So it's sort of like here.
That's a good area. That.
I see. Yeah, I see. Looks like our friend Mike's come into a bit of money here.
Let's kill him and take it over.
Was Mike the same size and build as either me or Carrot?
He was smaller, wasn't he?
Right. What, than me?
Well, you're 5'7", aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably fit into his translocation suit uniform if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I was wondering whether or not we could.
You could probably. The only thing that I would say to you that you would have to generate a fake SIN, because in order to get in, if it's like a business place, they're going to check your SIN as you go in, so it would be a problem then.
What if he took
example,
his tag?
If we were following if we followed, let's say, a van and one of them went in to do a drop off and we knocked him out or anything, then I suppose Carrot's illusion would do both clothing and
it would do like cameras. Yeah.
I can fool people and cameras with.
Yeah, it would. Well. It wouldn't fool electronic SIN detectors.
No.
And you, I think you already know phase how well, sort of like what level of security translocation probably has.
Okay, so I'm going to put his comm link in my pocket. Carrot's mentioned an RFID tag on the...
I show it to him on the uniform as well.
Yeah.
Careful not to touch it. I sort of... Is it on the lapel, did you say, or something like that?
No, it's on the back of the uniform.
Is it...
Okay, well, I'll touch the fabric around it. And
hang on, I've got two people talking at once. Sorry. What do you want to do? Now I've got nobody talking.
As I show the RFID tag to Phase, I'm careful not to touch it. I sort of like touch the fabric sort of like a few inches around each side as I'm holding it to show him just that specific piece of the uniform, the RFID tag.
That's cool.
Can I check in AR mode and see whether or not it's actually broadcasting or whether or not it's running silent hidden?
It's actually it's wireless, and it's not actually hidden at all. It's actually broadcasting. It seems to be you can see the trail going off into the matrix.
Can I follow that? Can I trace the signal?
Yeah. So if you wanted to do that, you would first of all have to, because you're going to snoop it. Yeah. So you're going to have to get a mark on it first.
Okay. So I'm going to do this in I'm going to do it in AR mode.
Okay. Tell me what you do then.
Okay. So I put my hand out and.
Because this, I always think this is really interesting now, because you must be doing that. Do you do that in real? Do you do that in physical? Because you're not actually in your persona, aren't you? So
no, I don't think I do it in physical because I have the DNI. I can just do. It's almost like I can make an eye movement, and my persona in the Matrix will actually move his hand.
Right, and that's all. I always get that confused with AR mode, because it's almost like augmented reality laid on top of everything else, isn't it? So I didn't know whether or not in AR you actually move your hand, or whether or not you're actually...
I think if it was that way, it would be very confusing, because a lot of people use AR.
Yeah, but I was thinking, you know, like if people are walking along and they're using AR gloves.
I think that's a different...
We've talked before of them actually typing, haven't we, and moving things around like that. And that's what I was thinking, whether or not are you actually moving your hands in real life, or are you somehow engaging with your persona? I thought it was an interesting... Yeah, so what are you doing? You're doing...
I'm doing hack on the fly to begin with, to get a mark on the device, on the RFID tag.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll be at -2.
Okay.
3 successes.
Yeah, so you start to do your little sort of like triangle, your blue triangle, to try to get a mark on it, and it just won't materialize on the actual comm link, and all of a sudden you get a mark on you. That is a translocation mark.
Dang it.
Okay, I'm going to try again.
Okay.
What am I going to be at? Minus?
You'll be at -1 now, because it's your second one.
Did it roll twice then?
No, I rolled, but I'm doing blind rolls.
Oh, right.
So what did you get?
I got 1 success.
Right, you try to materialize it again, and you've now got a second translocation mark on you.
Okay, I'll reboot my deck after going out of AR mode.
Okay. So people watching the stream, if you're not aware, the matrix is run by marks. So in order to do certain activities or certain actions in the matrix, you have to have a mark on it which allows you to actually interact with it. So FaZe was doing hack on the fly, which allows him to try to do it secretly. The disadvantage of this is that if he fails, another company or another decker actually gets the mark on him. So he had 2 marks on him. So the other, basically whoever owns that comlink now knows he tried to hack it. He's rebooted his machine, which means that he loses those marks. But of course, just remember, FaZe, you've also lost your mark on, and I know it doesn't matter because you're right next to it, you've also lost your mark on the comlink. But naturally, you haven't lost your marks on yours because your items, because you actually own them. So you won't lose those.
I'm also going to destroy the RFID tag if I can. I'm just going to take it off the uniform and stamp on it.
You're doing a lot of stamping with things, aren't you?
I know. I think it's the best way to destroy them. I can't hack them. I might as well stamp on them.
Cool.
Going to see whether or not I can get a host to stamp on. Right.
So we need to work out. So I look around to make sure the door's still closed behind me. And if it is, I say, so it looks like we need to work out a new, and I'm also broadcasting this on my sub vocals so that Big can hear as well. We need to work out another way to get into the delivery van then. Because Mike here is going to be no help.
Can I have a quick look at the charts to see whether or not I can work out how bad Mike is?
Yeah, roll your medical.
I got a first aid.
Yeah, roll that with -1 then. Because it's not exactly first aid that you're dealing with here.
Well, that was weird. It didn't. Nothing came up.
The RF tag, could we have not used that to like gain access to the place of work?
No, because I think it was something that they were using to actually follow.
Yeah,
Mike, find
so
out where he was, where he had been.
RFID tags come in a variety of forms, and one of them is a tracer. I think somebody did you use one beforehand?
No, I have the RFID tags that the micro cameras and the
Yeah, I thought you had touched one onto somebody's back before to trace them. Mike is suffering from blunt force trauma to his head. You figure he's probably been hit with something quite heavy.
like a car.
No, more of a weapon.
Candlestick.
More maybe,
yeah,
maybe a club or something like that. You also know that he's got a broken left arm in 2 places and a broken leg, including a fractured kneecap.
So he's obviously been tortured then.
Well, more from what you were saying before, more probably hit by a vehicle.
Right.
You know, probably hit by the vehicle, gone down, but then followed through with some
club over the head.
Yeah, some kind of bashing.
Okay. Can I go out?
Let's take his stuff and
move
I
into
know
his
you can
house.
do illegal. You know,
Well,
we may be able to use it.
There's no point being Mike, but yeah, we could be someone else, maybe.
Do you want to take all his stuff then? Yeah.
Yeah, will it all go in his little bag?
Yeah, quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah. And
His
then
shoes won't.
We're gonna take his
No, we
comm
won't take
unit
his
as well.
Say again, so I didn't hear that.
We're gonna take his comm as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
I just thought of something. If he comes around, he's going to be naked.
Yeah, but they probably
he's got a wife and children.
They
so
probably have. They probably have something. Carrot, can you try to find Ada on the way out and ask her to give us a call if he comes round?
I was going to. I was also going to ask her opinion of how he got those injuries because she'll be able to tell. I'm assuming, you know, she's been around the world, the medical world enough to know if it was a car or if he was beaten up. Or
Ida's walking around with quite a bloody apron, and she just sort of like verifies what you thought. Probably some kind of car crash or being hit by a car. She sort of like says, you know, Mike's often a bit stupid. You know, he probably walked across the street or jaywalked or something like that when the red man was there and got hit by it.
Yeah, I agree and say he's often got his head in the clouds.
You'll need to leave a comm number for.
She's already got my comm number.
Has she already got yours? I didn't know whether or not she's got your rating 1 or your rating 4-1.
Okay, well I'll give her my rating 4-1 because
Yeah.
that's protected anyway.
That's
so
cool.
I'll give her that one whether it's not the same one or not.
Cool. Yep.
And I say, can you let us know as soon as he wakes up, please?
Yeah, and she's quite happy to do that.
I thank her very much and wish her the best of the day as we walk out.
She says, she goes, fine. As she goes in, and you suddenly realise that she seems to be carrying a half-severed arm with a plastic bag over the end of it that she's obviously going to attach somewhere.
I feel a cold shiver down my spine.
Just roll a composure check. Carrot.
Oh, please pass out.
I kind of want to pass out or throw up or something.
No, that's all in you just go, yeah, I've seen that before. Show me something new.
Yeah.
Show me something new.
That didn't happen. It's a bad dream. So I'm going to, I don't know what the other guys are doing, but I was going to head back to the
Holidays Inn.
But go a slightly longer route.
And we'll try to work out our next plan of
cool
action.
But I was going to walk a slightly longer route to make sure that we weren't being tailed.
Oh, right.
Make it harder to be tailed.
Yeah, so
I don't know if the others were joining me or not.
Are you all doing that or not?
Well, if we think we're going to get tailed, then we might as well split up in.
Well, they raided our house, so
just roll. Faze, just roll your sprawls, your city sprawl thing. Skill. He has to find it because he doesn't use it that often.
No, it's just that bloody stupid thing. It always asks you whether or not you're specialised in it.
Yeah, okay then. So that's fine. You sort of like head off.
Can I use my shortcut skill as well? So that
yes, by all means.
It takes less time to actually get there.
If you get at least 2 successes, go for it. You get there first. Yes, you actually get there first.
Excellent.
So when you get back to the apartment to Holidays Inn, you notice that Faze has already got his shoes off and lying on the bed, watching some kind of Netflix show. You know, he's just Netflix and chilling on the bed, and that's it.
So we've got
30 minutes to go.
We've got Mike's comlink.
That is correct.
And we've also got the location of an apartment that he's in the process of buying.
Completion date for that is in 3 months, by the way, just so you know. So it's not as if he's moving into it. It just looks like he's buying it at the present moment in time.
It must be pretty expensive, something like that. He's not renting it. He's buying it.
Well, yes. Well, you in this day and age, you don't buy anything. You
Right.
rent everything. But it looks like he's moving in, due to move in. You don't know what his missus does, though. You never found that out.
Okay, so can I try to find out some information on his comlink? Can I find out what calls he received in the previous sort of like 48 hours?
Yeah, go for it.
Is there any files on it?
No.
Right.
Well, if you roll your matrix search, then I'll tell you what's on it, depending what you get.
Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to.
It's not protected or anything like that.
No, I'm just switching my deck array around.
Do you want to make a matrix perception first, or just go straight into the search?
I'm going to just go straight into the search.
Okay.
I'm just switching my deck around so that it has a chance of actually finding something out. Okay, toolbox.
When you got marked, what mark was it? It wasn't a ghost, was it?
It
No.
was translocation.
Oh, you broke up there. But yeah,
I know, my internet's being shit.
it was translocations, Mark.
Which doesn't happen to be a ghost, does it?
3 successes. The last call. There's a whole load of calls to you guys on whatever location, whatever comlink you were using. There's one to his mom, who seems to live in a place called Norfolk. Norfolk. You know, she seems to have a very strange accent. When you listen in, she talks about turkeys for some unknown reason.
I think it's Norfolk.
Oh, right, Norfolk. That's what it is. Probably is. She keeps saying "bootiful." I'm not too sure. You know, "bootiful," she says. "You look after yourself, my beautiful boy," she says. And there's also the last call was a call from Farah to arrange to meet at Translocation.
And when did that come through?
After
After he had met with us.
correct.
And do we know
The
what time that meeting was arranged for?
roughly about 10 o'clock last night, and she sort of like said, basically the message was, "I'm afraid you've been unsuccessful, but I'm willing to trade the goods. Meet me at 10 o'clock at work, Translocation."
And what time was he found or taken into Ida's?
Sometime after that.
Do you think he did the dirty on us?
I think the dirty done on him. I think that the runners got the data chips with all the pictures, gave them back to her, and then in on that blackmail. And part of that blackmail was beating the living hell out.
Is there everyone else that was on the chips? Can we find out if they were like attacked as well?
We don't have any information on that, unfortunately. I mean, all we have is sort of like really bad videos. We don't have a name or anything like that to put against it. So me searching on the matrix for any other, it would be.
So I'm just thinking, if they beat him up,
I mean, I would.
They might have took out.
Through, I'm going to have to check through stuff like hospitals and law enforcement to see, whether or not there's been any, assaults done, or whether or not a whole load of people have been submitted to hospital. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to.
What if we got in touch with Ida? Ask Ida, is anyone else from Translocation been brought in?
Just out of interest, Faze, you do notice that his comlink has a mark on it.
Right.
It's going to stump it.
It's actually that the mark is actually has it's like a body. The main thing is like a lion. It has wings, and it has a goat's head and what appears to be a dragon's head or snake's head, some kind of reptile. So it's mainly imagine a lion, and then it has wings, and then it has a goat's head coming out of one side, and some kind of reptile head coming out the other.
But that wasn't Translocation's mark,
No,
was it?
no. Translocations. Did I tell you what it was last week?
I don't believe you did.
No, I don't think you did.
Translocation is can you see the map at the moment?
Oh, I think you did. Was it like a heart monitor?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
sort of like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this isn't a mark that we've actually seen before.
No,
well, I haven't seen.
And just out of interest, it looks quite fancy, Phase.
Right.
It doesn't look like a street decker's mark. You know, yours is 3 circles with lines through it. This is sort of like the dragon, and has wings, and it has a serpent head, and it has this goat's head, and it's really interesting because as you look at it, it almost looks as if it's faintly animated as well. You know,
this is a shitty comlink, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It's
A rating 1, you know
it's
that.
like a budget comlink.
Yeah.
So the mark on it isn't Mike Sawyer's. It's somebody else's mark.
You could do a matrix search if you want to see what it could be.
Yeah, I'll. Well, I've also got matrix theory. Would that?
Yeah, well, roll one or the other.
Okay, I'll.
Roll a matrix search to decide what the animal is, and then roll matrix theory about who it could belong to.
Okay. Oh,
Well, yeah, that's it's quite easy to find because it's a well-known mythical creature. It's actually a chimera.
oh, I knew that.
You know, and it's been around for some time. You know, that's how you spell it if you're interested. So roll your matrix theory.
Which one am I doing now? My
Theory, yeah.
Oh wow!
They're cool, aren't they?
3 successes.
It's allegedly assigned to a decker that is almost like a decker for hire. It's almost like a hit man or a hit person, if that makes sense. It's not sort of like they are called chimera, and the sort of like the rumor about them is that they just accept payment, and whatever the payment is, you know, they will do the job, whether or not it's wet work or whatever.
There you go, Phase. There's a new deck for you.
Just out of interest, there's no communication from this. There's no trail to follow, but of course, just like you located it before, they wouldn't need that because.
Sorry, say again.
You know, there's no trail going away from this.
I can't follow it back, but they can follow it to us.
Yeah, because there's no trail going back, but just as you know, if you got one mark on it, you know instantly where it is.
Okay. Right, so there's no other files on this comlink, so I'm going to...
Apart from the ones I've talked about.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it on the floor and stamp on it and destroy it.
Whoops! There goes another comlink.
So it sounds like there is obviously another group of runners, potentially the ones we met in our apartment, who have been hired by Translocation / Farah, or Farah, to hunt us down.
I don't think it would be translocation.
But weren't the goons that attacked us in the apartment, weren't they Translocation guards? They were Translocation Corp troops, weren't they?
Were they?
I can't remember. I thought they were just dressed as like hitmen in smart suits.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They just the icon on the actual screen looked like corp guys, but they were dressed like as hitmen, yeah, or hit people.
So, I reckon it was Farah that's like organized all this, because obviously she's got a bit of money.
But why is she making it so personal? All right, we broke into an apartment, nicked a safe, took the stuff. Okay, but as far as
you want to know why she's making it personal?
Just business.
She's a secretary who's bribing
via
her fellow employees,
senior management employees as well.
Bribing via what?
Via
fake dirty pictures.
Yeah, which were all in
her apartment,
her safe.
Yeah,
which we nicked.
Which you nicked.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, I don't. You know, from that, she's tried to kill 4 people.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just drawing attention to her.
But this is what I'm saying. If she's tried to kill him, what about the other ones that she had like dirt on?
Unless she didn't try to kill Mike Sawyer, but just make a point.
Maybe
you would have thought that she'd actually, if she was trying to kill him, she could have killed him. The amount of damage she'd done to him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so we know.
Yeah. So that's almost like sending a very clear message out there, isn't it? Because Mike's not a high class person in the company, isn't he? He's sort of like a driver. But I mean, if you were a manager and you saw that happening, then it's a quite clear message, isn't it? You know, to sort of like, you know, be careful.
So as far as the job goes, the current job that we're on, ignoring the Mike and the Farah stuff, we still need to somehow work our way to get the equipment, the medical equipment for Ida out of Translocation. I see 2 ways of doing that.
We still need to get into Translocation.
We
can probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone by going there. If we can get in there, like, undetected, get our stuff, find out where the vehicle is going to be, or what vehicle's got the goods in, and then we could probably, like I said, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, get our gear, find out what vehicle it is, get that stuff, or wait till that stuff is out, and then do the job.
But is it a trap? Are they actually expecting us to go?
Probably.
Why take our stuff?
Or maybe even Billy Bob, the goods might be there.
The goods might be there, and we can just pinch them straight from there and ignore having to get the van.
Yeah. I'm just throwing irons into the fire.
The problem is we could do that, but the problem is actually getting into it, because correct me if I'm wrong, FaZe, but I don't know if FaZe will be able to get into the Matrix, or it will be
again.
It be really hard.
His noise was pretty loud because he was far away, if we can get closer, that's going to cancel on the noise, or cancel some of the noise.
It's
I mean,
true.
I don't think it will. I mean, I can get into it. That's not a problem. I can get into it, but I won't be able to do much once I'm in there. I'll
Would you
maybe be able
to-
to open the outer door for you. Maybe find out. Maybe take out the cameras.
Okay.
One or two.
Remember
We
the
don't have
first
to worry-
mission
we
we
don't
went
have
on
to
when it
worry
was
about
just
the
us
cameras.
two?
Are you talking about going into the host phase? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because the advantage of going into the host, remember then that everything that's in the host doesn't have the firewall attached to
Yeah.
it. Plus, once you're in the host, there's also no noise factors once you're in the host. So all your ratings is just all the dice rolls to oppose you will, instead of being the host rating plus the firewall, will just be double the device rating, and there'll be no noise once you're in there.
I mean,
So
you don't,
what I'm
you-
saying is, if you remember the first mission that we went on, you didn't go with me, did you?
That is correct.
No,
Yeah.
I stayed. I hacked from outside.
Or
Exactly.
don't-
So if we do that, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, you don't have to worry about cameras or anything like that, because I can change whoever goes in. If it's bigger myself, for example, going in to explore translocation, I can make us look different, so we don't have to worry about changing cameras. So it's one less thing that you have to roll for.
Okay.
or the alternative, and I'm not saying you should do this, I'm just making sure you know the alternatives. The alternatives is that FaZe does go in but hacks things while he's in there. So if you remember, whose place was it that didn't have a port into the SIN because it was too old fashioned?
It was when we went to get. No, it wasn't it when we went to get SatNav?
Yeah,
I went in with.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it was so old fashioned, it didn't actually have a data jack port there. But something like Translocation.
No, it was the garage. It
Oh
was
yes, the
high-tech
garage. Yeah. So something like Translocation is more likely to have data jack points, because it is an upmarket location. It's a good company. It's better than things like Delivery for You, or Hungry Like a Wolf, or Ugly Coyote. It's higher up.
Do we know exactly what type of stuff Ida wanted, as in for medical?
Well, she just literally said the contents of the transport, and she said originally 3 boxes or more. So basically, it's things like anything from like penicillin and sort of like pain relief and things like that. It's nothing illegal.
No. I was thinking more of beforehand. We knew that the medical supplies were going to be on a truck that was going to be driven by Mike, and we were just to grab whatever we could from that truck. So we didn't need to know what was in the boxes. We just need to grab as much as we can that was in that truck.
Yeah.
When we go into Translocate, there might be 100 boxes of medical supplies,
And
unless we know what we're trying to grab.
And I think from Ida's point of view, it's just medical supplies, because anything that she gets, she doesn't have to buy. So
Okay.
I don't think there's any specific requirement for the job completion.
Okay, so if we could, all 3 of us could go in. I could cast, as long as we stay more or less within my sight, I can cast a spell on each of us, so we all look different. So we don't have to worry about our identities being blown as much.
I don't think all 3 of us should go in.
But I mean, if we have data jacks, the thing is, if it's up to you. We can, if you want me to cast a spell on whoever goes in, I have to be able to maintain line of sight of those people, which means I have to go in.
The only reason I'm saying that,
Unless you
it's normally a 2-man team in Translocate, isn't it? It's normally a driver and a guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it normally is, isn't it? It's not normally a 3-man.
Well,
But
not
sure,
in
yeah.
not so much in Translocate. That what was said was on deliveries or on the
Yeah.
routes. It's usually a driver and a guard.
I think if you're planning on going in and pretending to be drivers, then you're going to have numerous problems, because it's going to be SYN activated to start off with. You know, even going through the front door is going to be SYN activated, which means that unless you're going to fake the SYN to be one of the workers, then that's going to be your first problem.
Do we know whether or not Translocate is closed at all? Does it, you know, does it?
Well, it does boast 24/7 deliveries.
Right.
So that's a no. Okay.
I think in 2076, it's not the idea that you can just walk in pretending to be somebody else. There's a lot more technology around, and the biggest thing is in. So, for example, if you did want to do it, then what you would have to do is hack into their database, find somebody, create a fake SYN, give it to yourself, so when you went in it says, you know, Mike Sawyer, and then you would be able to get in, and that's how you would do it. And that's why you more likely have to then, if you think the step before that is probably to find somebody and make, because what you don't want, isn't it, is that they follow you in later on that day.
No, it was more sort of like trying to make the most of Carrot's illusion, i.e., you know, if he's making, say, Billy Bob look like a guard, he looks like a driver. They wouldn't need any SYN to get in, because I would be running Matrix to actually open the door to bluff it, so it looks like they had just
and what you
anyway.
so what you would have to do is when they go through the door, there will be an automatic SYN check that would set off the alarm that it's not a registered person if you're going through an illegal door. So what you would have to do then is prevent that from happening and say, no, accept this SYN. And then that would allow them in.
I was thinking more of controlling the device and opening the door. So,
and then you would have to edit the file, because the SYN would be registered, wouldn't it? As soon as it went through the door, it would register the SYN to say this person has appeared at work today, and it's logged on.
It would register their SYN.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then it would say that they're not the...
Yeah, and you don't know what sort of like level of security is there, so it could be that it then says...
Could you not like edit a file and add a couple of new names? Say like we've just got the job or something.
Yeah, that's so. What Phase could do is, it depends what the level of security is. It could be that Translocation is set up that as soon as somebody comes back that is not on the database, on that it does two things. It sets off an external alarm and sets off ICE within the host, because basically it's saying these people are not here. It could, that would be the top level security. It could just log it and then that's it. And in which case it's just a case of going in and finding another file and swapping it over. Or it could not register it at all. Now, if you're going into something like Ida's place, it's probably not registering it at all. But from what you know about Translocation, it's quite beefy security.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do. What about doing the whole pretending to be new members of staff, or members of staff from a different, or members of staff from a different Translocation depot that would just come in for be an emergency cover for Mike, for example, because Mike's going to register as not being in for his shift. So we could do that.
Yeah, and it depends whether or not Translocation would have those things registered. and then you need to think, okay, then, so say for example you pretend to be somebody else and you go up to the front desk and you say that, it's what are you going to do next? That's because is it a
come
case
down to bluff then, wouldn't it?
yeah, or
I don't think we should. I mean, I think that our interaction with the other meat people in there should be kept to a minimum.
I think you need
I don't want to meet people.
I think the first,
as in humans.
I think the first thing you need to decide is that, are you going to go in when it's populated or when there's minimum staff on? I think that's your first. So basically, are you going to go in during the day or are you going to go in during the night?
It'd be better at night if it's less populated.
But it swings and roundabouts. It's less populated, but the security is probably going to be higher. They're going to have probably more security guards on, and
sorry, Faze. This is what I was saying to you. It's not a case of, I'm not saying which one will be better. I'm saying which one, because I think you've just said that if you go through the day, you don't want to meet people. Well, that's going to be the day one. But you're also saying if you go in the night, the security's too high.
No, it was more of that.
Sorry, I shouldn't do that on stream. It looks strange.
It wasn't that case at all. It was more of the case that we were looking at going more of a bluff. For example, if we go during the day, we could just edit the files and they could walk through the door and find out where they want to be. But if they're going that they're replacement drivers, then they have to go up to reception and say, hello, we're replacement drivers for so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And that's then a lot of con roll negotiation and, as well as changing files. And I don't think that's the way to go.
The other option is to find Farah and confront her, and then potentially get her to get us an in, or
we kill her.
I mean, the only thing that we could do with Farah would be to try to sort of like maybe double bluff her and say that we've made copies of everything that she has, and we're just going to randomly release it onto all the public, data boards, so that her blackmailing information is then no longer existent. She's not going to make any money.
I think the other thing with that is that, well, it depends whether or not that's a bluff or not. Because
I think that's a threat rather than a bluff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if, for example, if she says, okay, then do it, are you actually going to do it?
No, because we don't have copies.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we did. Okay.
No, we had the originals. We had all the original things. We had them from the... Plus, they were on 22 data chips, and we've only got 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Didn't we only just do mics, though?
To use WinZip.
I thought... Oh, I don't know. I thought we destroyed most of them.
The other positive thing that you do know is that FaZe does know that his gun's in translocation.
And the chances are is that everything's going to be together. They're not going to separate, the guns from, the motorcycle helmets or the... Okay, so the one we're going to have to go there in the car, because the car's going to have to be there so that we can actually get the medical supplies and bring those back.
Yeah.
So we're either going to have to find a van, one of their vans, which, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to work because all that's going to be tagged. So you might have to, mind you, there's probably parking for staff members who come in.
Yeah.
And as long as that's open, as long as you don't have to have it's not SINed to get in, i.e. it checks to see who the car belongs to and then opens the gate, then...
I'm pretty sure you said it was just the door that was...
You haven't been there. You don't know.
We didn't know. You're right,
I think we need to just go and have a physical scout around the place and see if we can see anything different, see what the people seem to be doing on the way in and out and that sort of thing.
I'm
We
thinking
need
the
more
other
information.
place. Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
Unless you guys can think of anything else to do, or do we just do we hit Farah and just be like, stop it, or
Right, okay, we can't rely on just randomly stopping one of Translocation's vans and hoping that the medical supply's in.
Sorry, that
What's
would be
the probability of that?
yeah.
happening on
I was
your
just
day?
thinking that. Roll a 1d4. If you get a 1, it is yes, 1 adventure finished.
Okay, so that's not an option. So one option that we have would be for me to hack Translocation, find their delivery rosters, and see whether or not I can find out when the medical supplies are going out and the route that it's going to take. That's one option that we have. That option doesn't give us a chance to get any other equipment back.
Correct.
And it's whether or not the equipment that we've got there isn't so much as...
And just on that point, you would have a much better chance of hacking that data in Translocation than out of Translocation, wouldn't you?
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I remind you, because if you're outside, it's the host plus the firewall. But inside, it's just the device rating. Once you get in there, once you get actually into the host, it's just a device rating. So you could go through like a door cam or through a computer and get into it there and then, if you got the protection of the party.
So would we be able to do that? So if we did that, we could then even potentially doctor the route, because Mike saw I mentioned that there were prescribed routes that they were taking now. So we could change the route into a more...
Phase could do that, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying we could change it into like an emptier location so that it would be easier for us to hit the van.
That's a good
rather
point.
than doing it in the middle of the street where people could be walking around and watching.
I'm not being...
We could direct them to the docks or
if
something.
If we're going to go into Translocate, we might as well nick the stuff. We might as well kill two birds with one stone. It's pointless.
If the medical supplies are there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could... My original plan was to go in there, like, kill two birds with one stone. Get our stuff for one, and two, find out where and when the transport is going to take place with the
only
with the
want
stuff
to go
in
into
it.
Translocate so you can find Farah and kill her.
Okay, 3 reasons. But yeah,
You've only got stun rounds.
I've got a blade.
He's got his fists.
Can I also remind you that there might be another set of runners involved in all of this? So I think the being cautious about things will probably be a very good idea.
Because there's the Crimea people, aren't there?
Yeah.
The other runners.
Well, I mean, if they're still about, which I mean they probably are. They already know our location anyway from us taking the comlink back to the to the motel. And even though I can't track it back to where it originated from,
So,
but I
do
mean,
we need
why
to
would
move
they still
hotels?
be involved? Does she just want everybody dead?
That's a high likelihood.
Okay, so
either way-
hit in the first place.
The first thing we need to find out is whether or not we're going to be able to get the car into Translocate.
So
To
we
be
don't
able
the only way
have
to do that is
to
actually
have a
go
look.
supplies
there.
out.
Yeah.
So can we do sort of like a recce on Translocate to begin with?
Yeah, so give me the information that you would like to find out about translocation.
Okay, so is it a secured parking?
Okay, that's one thing. Anything else?
That's the first thing that we want to try to find out, whether or not the actual parking for Translocate for the employees.
Yeah.
Is...
What I'm suggesting to you is that rather than going and finding that out, then coming back, then going and finding out something else, it'd be better to sort of like go once, have a drive-by, roll your perceptions, and then add them up or do an extended test, and then sort of like think, right, okay, then this is the information that you got.
I'll also, when we drive by, I'd like to make an sensing roll to check to see if they've got magical barriers and what magical defenses they have. Sort of thought they'd have something.
Okay.
Because they're a high up business.
Okay.
So, I mean, I want to be looking at devices on the outside, and whether or not the things like the lock security that they've got. More importantly, I want to also be looking at see what security guards they have as well, whether or not they have people patrolling the outside, or whether or not there's somebody there checking a vehicle that comes in, not so much sticking a light underneath for explosives, but checking people who actually drive in.
So I'm assuming that you're going to have to make 2 drive-bys then.
I would have thought we would probably have to park up and monitor it for a bit.
Yeah, but I'm
maybe make several drive-bys.
I'm assuming that, yeah, but you're going to have to make one during the daytime or one during the night.
Yeah, what time is it now?
Well, what time do you want it to be? I'm just trying to get what
I'm thinking more that can we park up for say 3 hours and maybe combine the 2.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to move time onward to give you the information. That's what I'm trying to get in. So we're going to do the thing about the staff parking. Carrot's going to assense for magical information. You're going to look at guards and entrances. Anything else that you're going to do?
You got devices down there. I just wanted to see external cameras, anything like that.
External cameras. Okay, then. That's cool.
External cameras, mag blocks. I don't think there's going to be any type of like sensors or anything. I mean, this is a delivery company, although it's pretty high tech, and it's done by the it's doing shitty stuff with the mayor. I can't see. Let's just. We'll go down that information.
Okay then. So what I need from you is that I need a sensing roll, I need and perception rolls from FaZe and Billy Bob. That's what I need.
Normal perception or matrix perception?
Normal perception, because you're not going into the matrix, I presume. Okay, so yours, Carrot, is quite easy. There is no magical barriers up there. There appears to be no spirits, etc. during the day. However, during the night, there appears to be a small spirit that is wandering about over the top of the roof. Okay. Do you have a magical theory skill or anything?
I do.
Yeah, roll that. Yeah, you think it's a watcher.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So the rest of you, the car park isn't SINed, so you can drive in and just park there. However, at night, it's quite empty and deserted. At the front, I'm just going to move you on to a map. Okay, you probably can just see a bit of it, and if you can see more of it, then let me know. Can you?
I can only see two entrances.
Yeah. Okay, then that's fine. So basically, it has from the front. That seems to be the only entrances into it. This one that I'm pinging now seems to be when the vans drive in, and this one here seems to be a staff entrance. Just so you know, this one is cameraed. Okay, and this one, however, does not appear to be cameraed. Okay.
And where's the car park in relation to this? Is the car park at the back? Or is it at the front?
From this one, the car parking is on the right, and to the left, going down the alleyway, is all the vans parked one next to each other. So there's sort of like a side street down the left where they all seem to be parked next to each other. There's an entrance at the opposite end as well.
Okay, so if you're coming off the road, would you have to drive past the loading area and then past the camera to park?
No, the van. No, you just come from behind and park up behind it, and then the first one sets off. So there's another street behind this that you come up to. The other thing that to be aware of, it's quite busy during the day. There's lots of what seems to be Translocation corporate sort of like guards around, milling around. On the night, there seems to be only two at the big entrance, but nobody at the little entrance. You just roll your matrix perception phase.
Will I be at -2 for AR?
Yeah, if you're doing AR. You're in the car. You normally do things in AR. Yeah, there are some wireless devices. The camera on the front here is wireless. Okay, and you notice a lot of the guards' guns are wireless. They're not really powerful guns. They're just like the Colts that you've encountered before, but they are wireless, so they do have the ability to be hacked or bricked. There's no other wireless devices that you can see. There is a host entrance. The SIN lock here to this door is wireless as well. And this door appears to be constantly up.
But there's guards there.
Yeah, you figure what probably happens is that the vans come to this part, reverse in, get loaded up, and then go off. Yeah? So they come from the left-hand side, they pull in there, they reverse into there, get loaded up, and then go off.
Okay, so from Billy Bob's knowledge of cars, vans, etc., are we able to steal one? For example, if we were to break into and then get into one of the vehicles, would we be able to drive it round and reverse it back in? I mean, I know we would need keys, etc.
Well, that would be up to Billy Bob's driving skill. And maybe,
I mean about things like, starting it and things like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It would just be like him starting up, and he'll probably have a negative modifier to it because he's not used to this sort of van. He's normally used to his like cars rather these vans, so things would be slightly different in it. So he might have a -2 modifier to it.
So. Damn. Whilst we're there, and I can see any of my devices, can I tell in relation to the actual building whereabouts they are?
Yeah, they're in the back somewhere.
And where we were looking at, that was the front.
Correct. Yeah.
And how many stories is it?
Just one.
Okay, so the two choices are we if we don't want to actually have to handle much of the... Can you make our car look like one of their vans?
Then, yeah, should be able to. I'd have to maintain that spell, so no matter what else I do, I'm going to be concentrating on that spell. I can.
But you might only have to maintain it from us coming in from the back, and rather than parking it up where the other cars are, we would just go straight round the front, reverse it back, and that would then give us the element of surprise against the guards.
I can do that.
But we would have to take them out without having any loud noises.
I can do that. Are we planning to do it during the daytime or nighttime?
No, we'll do it during the nighttime. There'll be just too
so
many
you
people
know,
down during the day because they're going to have more.
Just so you know, there is a Watcher spirit. So if I cast any spells, the likelihood is it could find me casting a spell and home in and let the either attack me, in which case I can deal with it. I can try and banish it, or it could go off and tell the mage that it summoned it, in which case they will know what we're doing. They will know that someone's casting spells on their property.
Would it?
Either way, they're going to know that because they would know once I banish it.
Immediately go off if it saw an illusion. If you've made our car look like a, what is it? We don't know what they watch. What do they watch for?
Would I be able to make a magical theory roll about that, or?
Say again.
Would I,
what do watchers watch for?
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
I mean, I know it's magic, but it's more sort of what they. Never mind. I'll make the roll.
Bird watching.
Well, yeah. I mean, watchers watch for magic. So, for example, the interesting thing is if you tried to make your car look like a van, to the watcher, it would look like your car because it will be on the astral plane. So it will see that.
Would that necessarily set off the watcher spirit?
Well, it depends what it's being told to do.
I mean, the likelihood it will be looking out for anything that's magically done within the immediate vicinity / you know, so if we were to cast the spell off the property, it might not be worried about it, but that's a guess. If we were to cast it when we're on the property, it would know, and it would know that the spells are being cast on the translocation property, in which case it will probably do something.
Okay, so
likely,
how about if like, do we see any cars rocking up and going in through that entrance?
Cars? No.
Yeah.
The only thing
just the vans.
Correct.
So if it's seen a car driving in there, it's gonna set off alarm bells.
Yeah.
But I mean, what sort of are they that intelligent? Would you be able to sort of say, can it differentiate between a car and a van? I mean, I don't know how intelligent spirits are.
I don't know that either. I'm not sure if I've heard it.
Yourself a mage.
Okay, so I mean, everything that we're planning at the moment involves some type of magic.
I
know.
Correct.
Okay, so can you destroy the spirit? And if so, will it then alert?
If I touch the spirit in any way, whether magical or try and banish it, which is reducing its tasks down to 0 and it disappearing, the mage who summons the spirit will know that it's gone, whether I destroy it or if I send it back to the magical plane. The mage will know that I've interfered with it.
Wait, what?
Right.
Not in that way. Big B, not in that way.
So you can't even have anything like combat sense up and running? Because it's going to see you. Well,
it will see me. It will see me anyway.
Because
I'm awakened, so it will know that I'm there anyway. And it will know that I'm there, and it will know that I have whatever spells I have running constantly. It will know I have running. It might not detect that as a threat though. That's the risk.
But that's what I mean. How many other mages are possibly working there just for a job, so to speak?
probably one.
How
maybe.
common are mages?
Not very. Not very at all.
Okay, well, I mean, we're not getting anywhere here.
I say we just do it and we risk it.
Yeah, let's
What?
just guns blazing.
Masking the car as a van. I
That's
don't
the best
think-
plan we've got.
Can you not hack the camera? I mean, there's no guards. All there is a camera. That's wireless.
I mean, I can. You can park up in the car park, and I can hack the host through that camera
Mm-hmm.
because it's wireless, and then I can shut it off or whatever. That's not a problem.
Or even have it on a loop.
But that's going to then mean going in through the front door rather than the loading bay area. Yes, you can probably get to the back. The chances are that the front door is going to have, there's more chance of you encountering a human being going through the front door as well. But the only thing that you're going to be able to do is then get to the equipment. And we would then have to do a separate run to find out about the medical supplies. Because you're not going to be able to get the medical supplies out as well.
Well, no, that's not what I was saying to do. Just find out what the route is, when it is.
Well, in which case,
And
I don't need you at all for that. You can stay in the motel. I can drive myself there, park outside, and hack it.
Well, okay, then we'll stay in the hotel. You go hack it and then get our stuff as well.
No, I can't get you stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can go in, get our stuff while you do your thing and find out when everything is.
Right. Okay. So you want to go through we're going to go through the side door. And the plan
Right.
is you and Carrot are going to go in, get our stuff, come out whilst I find the route for the medical supplies
And when it is.
and when it is.
Sounds good?
Okay, and I'll cast physical mask on myself and Big as well as we're approaching, so we can hide our true identities physically from the guards.
Won't that set off the watcher speed?
I was going to say the watcher.
No, it's true. Okay, never mind. It's
Does
okay.
everybody go in uniform or do they get changed?
Are you asking? Sorry, me. They go in their work clothes, or depending what rank they are. So the drivers go in their translocation uniform, but things like the managers or people higher up or the data crunchers, they don't actually go in translocation uniform. It's only their drivers that do that because they're out and about. Everybody else goes in their normal clothes.
Right.
Do we have a plan?
Well,
I'm
I
open
wouldn't
for
actually call it a
suggestions.
plan.
No, I wouldn't either. But
There's too many variables for us to take into consideration.
we need to cut out something. And I'm sorry, Billy Bob, but I think it should be we ignore our stuff for now and just focus on the route. We can always try and get our stuff back another time.
That's fine then. Let's do that.
Just because it's
Okay, so if you
can't do everything.
so that you don't therefore need to go to translocation for that. Is that?
It was literally a suggestion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
if
think-
we
I
can
think
kill
it-
two birds with one stone, then great.
I think it was a very good suggestion. So
I mean,
it was.
I mean, at one point we need our stuff back.
So the idea is then that you're going to stay at Folly Days Inn, and
I don't think that's a good idea though.
oh no, just for the time being. And FaZe is going to hack into translocation to get into the data files to try to find out when the next medical supply is going to go. van that it's going to be assigned to, and the location that it's going to do. Yeah?
Yeah.
Would it not be best if we got you closer for that? So less noise.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get me, what, within 100 meters of the place?
I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Yeah, so you can probably park the car here, or even here, or here, and that's absolutely fine. So what time of the day are you going to go there? Just roughly either daytime or nighttime. That's the next thing I need to know.
I mean, we'll do it at night time.
Cool.
There's no reason not to do it at night time.
Excellent. Okay then. So I presume that are you all driving there in the car?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay then. So Big B, you just need to roll that roll to get Rusty Rosie under way.
Damn. Skills.
So you go. Nothing happens. Try again with -1 to the roll. You might be walking.
It's not a fuel.
Oh no, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, do your driver's roll to get there. Yeah, you get there and you're nicely parked. Brilliant. Okay, so FaZe, you are going to hack it in, yeah?
I am indeed. Yeah. So I'm going to try to go through the camera because that's operating wirelessly, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get a mark on the camera.
Yeah.
And on I won't have any noise because of the
Cool.
I'm on
But
the
that
local grid.
will still have its firewall attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pre-edging my rolls.
Okay. Yeah, with 8 successes, you block your mark on the camera.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the host. What do I see?
Well, it seems to be almost like a white sterile office, and you can also see that there seems to be a whole load of spiders crawling around the place. Some are just sort of like sat there doing nothing. Some are actually moving and going around all the walls. And as I say, some of them are just stood there. There's quite a big one in the middle, and it's quite sort of like massive. But apart from that appears to be it. There's a lot of sort of like boxes. There's a normal default architecture for a computer host.
Okay, so I want to find the data concerning delivery manifests, routes.
Yeah, so
like
all that information is stored in a massive database. So all the you can quite easily find the box that is to do with databases. And so it have everything in it from personnel files to what's been delivered, where it's going to be delivered to, routes, etc., etc.
Okay. So I'm going to need to get another mark on that so that I can then actually access the data.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to hack on the fly again. I'm not edging this one.
Cool. Yeah, you automatically get your mark on that one. It's not a problem at all.
Okay, this is where things get a bit... so I need to now read the files to find out?
You now need to edit the file, or if you wish, you can search it to see whether or not there's any data bombs or any protection.
Well, the first thing I want to do is do a matrix search on it to see whether or not there's anything
that
I should be aware of that might harm me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be anything that would harm you at all on them.
Okay, so I want to. I'm going to edit the file and see whether or not I can find any information regarding delivery routes for medical supplies, when they're going, and where they're going to be stopping, etc.
Excellent. Off you go.
Edit file, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm edging this file as well.
Pre-edging it, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, nothing came up. That's weird.
There it goes.
Oh,
Edit file. 7 successes. Yeah. So you reach in and you're flicking through the files, and you find the one that you want, and you lift it out, and you suddenly notice that it almost like, as you start to read it, it turns into sort of like gobbledygook. It just sort of like everything's moving from side to side, and you notice that the filing cabinet that you're searching through on the matrix suddenly slams shut, and catching the file in it, and it just sort of like slams shut. And you notice that these spiders suddenly start to take more of an active interest in you, rather than just sort of like perusing roundabout. What would you like to do?
Right, so the
would you like some options?
No.
Okay. Shall I put... Yeah.
So the file was encrypted, or the file was okay, and then it was encrypted. It started to be encrypted as I was.
It is either you failed to find a data bomb on it, or sorry, some kind of encryption on it, some kind of defense on it. So once you started to read it, you actually set off the defenses on that file, and because the defenses of that file has been engaged, then the host has started to search for intruders, because it set off the alarm, so to speak, within the host. So now you probably think that these spiders are patrol ice. So the purpose of a patrol ice is to look around and try to find the intruder. So that's when you have things like your hide roll, or enter the or drop out. If they don't find you, then you're fine. However, if they do find you, then they will start attaching. They will attach onto you, and that will be their mark. And then it'll allow them to snoop you and trace you back to where you're coming from. Alternatively, they might just brick you and dump you if they can get enough marks on you, and the dice rolls go according to plan, of course, and just dump you from the host.
Okay, so even if this file has an encryption program on it, can I still download it onto my
No, you cannot download it now. You have to its encryption is on it, so you have to remove that encryption, because otherwise everybody would just download an encrypted file and then do it at their leisure.
Right. So I'm going to have to try to decrypt this file then.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do in the matrix. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So is that an edit file?
Let me just. You need to disarm data bomb. So that's software plus your intuition. And I roll my data bomb rating ×2.
Okay, I'm good to pre-edge it again.
Cool. Ooh, 5. Yeah, you managed to you managed to stick your fingers into it and actually decrypt this data bomb and actually find some virtual wires and actually disconnect them so you can actually start to edit the file now. You can actually roll your edit file. The other thing that you do notice once you've done that is that you notice out of the corner of your eye that there's a new icon in the matrix, in the host, and it seems to be a lion with wings and a serpent head and a goat head.
So it's the other Decker from Chimera.
Yeah, and can we please roll some initiatives? Well, I just need yours because I know what mine is. 17. So
I don't have a token to
no,
click on, so.
it's all right. It's not a problem at all. What's yours?
17.
Cool. So let me just order those. So Chimera starts, and it seems to be running some kind of tracer program, i.e. scanning program. It's sort of like looking around, and you can see it's all 3 heads are all looking around in different directions at the same time. Okay.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's now you.
Okay, so all I need to do now is edit this file and grab the information from it.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pre-edge it again. Bloody hell.
Yeah, well, you'll see it on the playback because I'm hiding my rolls, but I actually only get one success at that. So you actually edit the file. So you have got the file for what? Just tell me what you picked up.
The delivery schedules for the medical supplies.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be.
Got yeah. Okay then. So and it's Chimera's turn next. So can you please roll your willpower plus your firewall as the reptile the reptile head turns round and fires flame out at your persona. Is that your 2 successes? Yeah.
Yeah.
And 1. Okay, so you take 1 point. No, sorry. Yeah. You actually manage to just lean backwards as this fire comes straight in front of you, sort of like hitting the filing cabinet with all the files in. It doesn't demolish them, but it was obviously very much on target at that point. Okay, it's your go.
Okay, so can I use a free action to send a message to Billy Bob, telling him to get out of here, drive away, seeing that we're pretty close.
Yeah.
And I want to start jacking out, so I need to change down into AR mode to begin with.
Yeah.
And I need to jack out after that.
So to switch your interface is a simple action.
Yeah.
And then to exit the host, what are you doing? You're jacking out?
I'm just jacking out, yeah.
Jack out. So that's a simple action. So you need to make a roll for that, don't you?
Willpower and hardware.
Yeah. And it's opposed by my logic and attack.
And it's I'm limited by my firewall, which is the thing that goes terribly wrong, you know. And I'm going to do that roll again because it's got the edge thing still on it. I didn't take it off.
Oh, cool. That's not a problem.
I wonder why it was rolling so many dice. 3 successes.
Yeah, so two simple actions. So you switch to AR mode and you quickly lock down, jack out of it, keeping the file within your cyber deck, and you come back into the car. What would you like to do?
I want to. I've got the file, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got the information that I need. I'm going to reboot my deck.
Okay then. So you reboot your deck. So you're back in the car now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. So Phase and Carrot and Billy Bob, you hear some alarms going off. That seems to be going from the direction of Translocation. Can you just ping the map whereabouts you are actually parked, please?
Billy Bob?
It's up to Billy Bob, he's the driver.
I don't know. I can't zoom in. So probably be on this road here, about 100 meters away from the actual.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool. Yeah, so that would be the side that the vans are parked at, because that was the size of the van. So you can hear translocations, alarms going off, and you suddenly can you, Billy Bob, make please a. Let me just check this. Could you roll, please, your logic and willpower added together?
Logic and willpower added together. In a blind roll?
No, just roll it in the thing.
Normal.
Yeah.
One success.
Okay, so all of a sudden you from the bottom of the car, you see a whole load of insects and bees and wasps that start from the bottom of the car, from underneath your seat, and start to sort of like come up over your body, and they just seem to be like a swarm, as it says, like a swarm of bees and ants and everything like that. And they're sort of like getting in all the crevices. They're getting underneath your armor. You can feel them stinging you left, right, and center. It looks as if somebody summoned up, like almost like an insect shaman has summoned up a whole load of insects to actually damage you and cause you physical harm.
I've got pain tolerance, haven't I?
Yeah, so that's what.
So
what that means is that once you start taking damage, then you can most people take 3 points, 3 boxes when they get the -1. You take the first 3 boxes without that -1.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
Sorry.
I'm gonna. As soon as I got the message from Billy Bob, anyway, I started the car up. From Billy. I'm Billy Bob.
You're Billy Bob,
From
Billy Bob.
FaZe.
Billy Bob, you're Billy Bob.
Billy Bob, Billy Bob, Billy Bob, Billy Bob.
As soon as I got the message from FaZe to go, I've started the car up. All these things are all over me. Are they preventing me from driving?
Yeah, your first reaction is actually to get out the car. Probably to get out the car and get them off you will be the best sort of like form of action at the moment, because otherwise they're going to start to bite you.
Seeing Billy Bob starting to act like that, I want to see if someone's casting a spell on him, and if they are, I want to counterspell it.
You counterspell before the spell happens.
Okay.
Rather than at a later date.
Okay.
So where do you want to? So Billy Bob, you'll actually get out the car and sort of like start getting them off you. Whereabouts do you want to look, Carrot? You said that you want to look.
Yeah, I wanted to see if I could see who was casting the spell. So I want to look, not go. What's the word? Actually perceive and look around to see if I can see the magician or shaman or spirit, whatever it is that's casting.
Right.
The spell.
So you want to sense, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
I've got 3.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't mean to. I didn't realise I had the edge on. I'll re-roll that.
Oh, hang on. I can. Will it not just tell me from the?
Because I've rolled too many.
Oh yes.
dice,
Sorry. Yeah.
I've rolled way too many dice. So I'll re-roll that. Sorry. I got 4.
4. Yeah. You can see that as you get out of the you probably. You can start a sensing, and you notice that there's actually a mage further down behind near the trucks at your side, and you also notice that when you switch your perception, then the watcher spirit immediately turns round and notices that you're starting to tap into the astral plane. Okay, guys, let's have some. Let me just clear this off, and let's have some initiative from people. Oh, hang on. I'm going to.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said? I dropped out. I didn't hear anything.
I'm going
to plane.
Yeah. So you are sensing onto the astral plane. The Watcher turns round and sees you. That's been hovering around, and then we're just going into initiative. You should be able to see your characters now, so you should be able to click on them. Yeah.
Okay. Do I roll physical or astral?
Physical,
initiative?
Because you're not actually projecting.
Okay.
You would only do that if you're actually projecting.
Okay, I'll re-roll again.
Da, da, da.
Even better.
Cool. Okay, so Billy Bob, you are first.
So I've got all these bugs off on me. I'm just jumping up and down, brushing myself off, shaking them off.
Yeah.
Do I see anyone around that's
No,
threatening?
you're just sort of like constantly. You're too busy on these bugs. And sort of like scraping them off. Good role plays, that sort of like thing. There's nobody running up. If somebody runs up to you with a gun, then I'll let you know. Okay, FaZe, you are up.
Can I scoot along into the driver's seat?
You'll probably have to clamber over because the chances are, if you were going VR, you're probably in the back because you could lie
so
down
I'm
there.
going to clamber over into the driver's seat and shout
The car is
out,
running.
"Get in the goddamn car!" And is it running?
It is running. I started it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you started it, I can look
Yeah.
back.
And so I'm going to be ready to go when people are in.
Yeah. It's busy running. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. Cool. Okay then. Carrot. What's your reaction?
My reaction is 4.
4. Oh, so is mine. You can go first.
Okay. I don't know.
You're out the car, aren't you? At the
I am out.
No.
Am I out the car?
No. Carrot and you are in the car. Carrot is. Sorry. I'll rearrange you so you're like that in the car.
Okay.
And so. Oops. Sorry. So and then Billy Bob is out of the car doing like this. Just Carrot and FaZe, just so you know, you can't see anything on Billy Bob. Billy Bob can see lots of things and is knocking them left, right and centre. You guys are sort of like looking at him just to say,
retard.
What you doing?
I would have thought I'd probably guessed that somebody's cast a spell on him, knowing that I can see a mage and that Billy Bob's doing something weird. I'm guessing I could.
Well,
So
yeah, I mean,
together?
you've probably both figured out that there's something quite weird going on.
So is there any way I can end that spell, or is it just going to end?
Well, it's the same as your spells, so it could be several things. Number one, it's likely to be sustained. So, taking damage might break it. You probably hope that it's not maintained by like a mental spirit or something like that. That is actually maintaining it for her, because in which case, that's an issue, because it would be the mental spirit that is actually sustaining it. You do have the situation that the Watcher has taken an active interest in you. You're going to have to get out the car if you wish to fire anything at her, and probably go over the other side of the street, because when you actually perceive, you can just look up and and probably see the magic flowing down from her to Billy Bob, so you can actually see that. But to actually get a clean shot at her, and you can't cast spells in the astral. You're going to have to come into the physical, because she's in the physical in any case. It's probably better that you're in the physical, because otherwise the Watcher can't harm you as long as there's no connection.
Yeah. So I'm going to. Is it a free action to swap, or is it a simple action to swap from? Because I'm assuming I'm still actually proceeding.
Yeah, you're still, so you can just switch back. It's actually a complex action to actually project, but if you're just switching perception, then it's a simple action.
Which means I still have a simple action left.
Correct.
So I can't actually.
And your movement.
Yeah, so I can't actually cast a spell.
No.
Is that
You could.
You can
I could.
you could recklessly cast. There's actually a button for that on the character sheet, isn't there?
Is that the one where it's
Fast.
simple and
fast
complex? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a simple action to cast the spell. You can actually cast a spell and target 2 people with the same spell as well.
And you divide the net
Yeah.
hits between them. So just running through my options. If I want to hit her, I have to get out of the car.
Yeah, and you probably have to be roughly where Billy Bob is now.
Okay. And is there any way I can? I'm assuming I can't counter spell to try and stop whatever spell is affecting Billy Bob.
No, you counter spell if you knew the spell was going to come onto him. Then he uses the counter spell dice to do his resist. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no way I can stop the spell on him.
Could you not do a spell on me?
I'd have to get out of the car, I assume, wouldn't I? To cast a spell on Big.
No, Big's in line of sight. The mage is not in line of sight. You can see Big through the windscreen.
Do like mind control or something.
I can't do. Yeah, I'll cast influence on Big using the simple.
Well, you can't. You
implanting
can't.
a sim.
Are
Sorry.
you casting it reckless
saying?
spell casting? Are you recklessly spell casting it? Because you've only got a simple action, haven't you?
I am, yeah. But I'll use that to implant a simple thought in Big's head that he loves bugs. He doesn't hate them.
Okay then. So what you're going to do? The first thing you need to do is your drain will be +3, but it should automatically add that. But we can check that as it comes out.
Sorry.
So
you want me to hit is it the fast rather than the full?
That should do it. That should increase your drain.
So no situational modifiers. I'll cast it at. Oh, okay. Never mind.
So what's the normal?
The normal drain is -1.
It's and what force did you do? So it should be 1 + 3. It should be in at the drain of 3.
Okay, but it's taken it as drain as 6.
Well, what I would do is just use the normal dice rolls and cast it normally, and then cast your drain.
Okay.
And
so
do it 2 separately. That'd be easier.
Okay. So normal. Am I able to use reagents on this or not? I would have thought so.
You can use reagents to up your limit. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Because that's why I cast the last one at force 2. I thought I could use reagents, but I couldn't.
And you don't know that there are bugs crawling all over me. You can't see anything if you remember.
Okay, I'm going to use the thing to say get in the car.
Okay.
Use the Jedi Rifle to get in the car.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
It's come up with increased drain. Do you want me to use that or not?
Yeah, does increase
Okay, so it's
by 3. Yeah.
+3. Okay, and then I want to edge my successes.
Okay.
So that means I re-roll 11 dice. So that's a total of 4 successes.
4 successes, and you take 1 stun. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to... Normally, I would roll Billy Bob's logic and willpower to resist it. But since the mage is actually controlling him at the moment with the swarm spell, I'm going to roll her logic and willpower because you need to overcome that. What force of the spell did you cast? 2.
Of course, yeah, cast force 2.
So that's a
net 4 reagents.
Yeah, so the force 2 is a negative modifier for me. So I will roll this amount. Okay, so I get 2 successes. So what Billy Bob, you suddenly realise that you need to get in the car, and you notice that the bugs slowly dissipate from you as the influence spell is more powerful than the swarm spell. You also notice that FaZe is in your driver's seat. Okay.
So I'm like, the hell's going on here?
Okay, and as you come out of that, then the oh, hang on a minute, I just need to add something on this because she took some stun damage last time. As you come out of this, she whacks you with a spell, Billy Bob. Because it's now her time. So you need to roll your willpower. Just your willpower.
Rats.
1. I've only got 2 willpower.
No, you did. What's the probability of you getting 1?
Quite low.
50%.
Okay, so you can see this mage up at the top, Billy Bob, now, and you see her. She holds out one hand to you like that, and with the other hand, she seems to crush some kind of beetle or flies or earwigs or something like that. You see them all sort of like they were
bugs.
Yeah, they were actually alive in her hand, and she actually crushes them, and all the bits fall down like that. And this power shoots towards you and whacks you, and you actually take 4 points of stun damage from the mage.
Mages suck.
Our mage does.
Our mage just doesn't get good rolls.
I had 4 successes. Normally, you would have only taken 3, Billy Bob, but you actually glitched on your roll. So that's why. Incoming drain 3, resisted 4. Fine. Okay, so Billy Bob and FaZe, if you want to adjust your initiative.
Where's my wounds?
First page. Stun
Character.
damage.
Damage taken.
Rain.
Stun.
It's at the same level as Edge and Magic and Willpower on your main page.
Damage
Next to your
troops.
tribute.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Damn it. Not 40. Bloody hell. There we go.
Excellent. Has Billy Bob changed his initiative?
No, Billy Bob has
No,
not yet.
not yet.
Oh,
He has now.
and then it went again. 10. Billy Bob, you are up.
Okay, so I'm in the car.
Hang on a minute. Are you going to get in the car? Yeah, you'll have to get in the back.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm looking a bit bewildered that all this is going on. So I'm gonna like hop in the back and inform that there's a creepy. Is it a woman?
It certainly is a red-haired woman.
So I'm going to say there's a creepy woman up there doing stuff with bugs and being mean to me. Can we get out of here, please?
Okay, so Billy Bob gets into the car. FaZe, you are up.
Yeah, as soon as Billy Bob's in the car, I'm going to accelerate away from.
Oh, please don't stall it.
Go for it. roll your car. Oh yes, nice.
Yes.
So you pull away quite nicely, away into, and whereabouts would you like to go?
We'll find a different hotel.
Okay, go for it. Which one would you like to go to?
Maybe somewhere.
Jacob's Cream Crackered was pretty good.
That was
Been there before.
That sounds a nice
Was
one.
that with handbrake?
Yeah, we don't know what kind of hotel it might be.
Is a one somewhere around there?
Well, you're the expert, FaZe. You're the expert of hotels, etc.
Okay, we're going to find one called Lou's Place, which is about there.
Cool.
Lou's Place?
Yeah.
Or Lou's?
Lou, L-O-U.
Whilst we're driving away, can I make sure to do an sensing check to make sure the spirit isn't following us and or the mage isn't following us?
Yeah, they go for it. Roll.
One.
Yeah, the mage is definitely not following you. You can't see the watcher.
Okay. I inform the others and I say, I can't see the spirit, but the mage is not following us.
I don't think anything else will be following us. I think we
But it
got
could
away
be.
cleanly.
The watcher could be following us.
How can we tell?
I'd need to roll another. I'd need to check again in a moment. I'll
How
check
can
when
you
we get
tell? Try and get into the delivery place.
If you go back now, it might not be there.
You can roll your sensing again. It'll just be at -1.
Yeah, I'll do that then. Because 1 on 9 dice is pretty naff. 4.
Yeah, you can't see anything following you on the astral plane at all.
Okay. I pass that on.
Okay.
I don't see anything following us. But just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Because the other thing that we didn't take into account with our plan is that
Plan.
maybe when they got hold of Mike, he's actually told them what we were going to do and what his part in it is.
Could well have done. And even if he hadn't, the fact that we've hit them, they're going to potentially know what we've taken and change it anyway.
Putting ideas in his head.
No, believe me, it was already there. It's nice that somebody thought about it there.
Yes.
Well, it's killed a few hours anyway.
Well, exactly, and it's provided some entertainment for the stream.
Excellent. Right, so we're going to drive around for a bit.
Yeah.
And then we're going to head for the hotel or this motel.
Just roll your sprawl, because that I'm using that as a negative dice pool to anybody who might want to follow you. Cool, 4.
And then we'll drive around for sort of like an hour. And then once we think that we're all in the clear, we're going to head across to this motel.
Yeah, and you can buy 3 rooms here for the usual 312 credits.
117 each.
Say again, sorry.
312. Oh, it's gone down. Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's
106. Sorry, 104.
Yeah. Excellent. Going down. Cool. So once we got there, I want to take a look at this data and see when the delivery of the medical stuff is supposed to be happening.
Yeah,
Or,
just
you know,
before
when-
just before we do that, Billy Bob, can you roll your body plus willpower on an extended test, please? The button should be down at the bottom.
Extended test. So
Oh, and I've stopped casting my influence on him as well. I assumed
Oh.
that wouldn't be working anymore anyway.
My computer does.
maximum number of dice or minimum number of dice.
Just leave it. Just click.
Okay.
I just got kicked out of.
Number of successes. What?
Just leave it.
Just
I
leave
just
it.
got, yeah, brilliant. Oh, that first one is nice. So after 1 hour of resting, Billy Bob will be back up to. He will recover his stun damage.
Oh, phew.
So I
I
can
was
take
thinking
that
there
off.
was a lingering effect of the spell, and I was like, no.
No, because he's got
The bugs are back.
he got 7 successes on his first roll, which will make it for 1 hour. Yeah,
Is that not a glitch though? Oh no, because they're
No.
ones.
No, not at all. There's only one there. The medical supplies are due to go out next week, 1 week from today.
Okay, and we know the route that they're taking.
The route it will be programmed in on the morning, as previously mentioned by Mike Sawyer. If you remember
so all
what,
we have is a day.
yes.
We don't have a van.
No, because if you remember, Mike Sawyer said that they had changed everything. So he normally took his van, but now they've changed it so he doesn't know which van he'll be taking or which direction they're going to go in. And that's actually done on the morning.
But would he have, on the data we've got, would there be a rough expected delivery time? Or would there be a delivery location on there?
Yeah,
On that data?
it's due to set off at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be delivered somewhere close to deliver to you.
Okay. So we can work out with the. Oh no, we wouldn't know if there's any other deliveries on that run, but I wouldn't have thought there would be.
It depends on how much stuff they've ordered.
Well,
And
exactly.
it also depends on whether or not there's only going to be one van leaving around that time. If there's more than one van, then we'll have to take it, just hope that it goes in the general direction of, from Translocation, it heads down to the southwest.
Does it have you said near delivered to you? Is there an exact address, or is it just
It seems
the
to
docks,
be.
that area?
It seems to be an industrial unit there. I can put it on if you wish.
Thank you. So we know where it's going. We know when it's leaving. So we could potentially even. We don't know the exact route, but we could waylay it around that. We could be lying in wait around that area and waylay it there.
Yeah, I mean,
It's good. No matter how we're going to be doing it, we've got to be going in harder than we were planning to. We were planning to hit it whilst the drivers and the security guard were not in there. But ever since Mike's out of the picture, in my opinion, that's no longer on the option. We're going to have to hijack the van. So we're going to actually have to attack it properly rather than relying on the infiltration method that we had last time.
And if they have got the information from Mike, then they're probably going to be more security than normal.
Yeah, and the likelihood is that could be happening anyway, because several vans from them have been hijacked before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not necessarily a given, but we can expect stiffer security. Potentially even the Crimea people that we've bumped into a couple of times now, they could even be potentially doing the security on the actual van itself. So we're going to have to expect fairly good security, but that's still out. If we want to complete the mission, I mean, we don't have to.
I think they're just
That's
going
still
to.
our best
I think
option.
they're just going to change it. They're just going to change the route. They know which file I've accessed.
That's true. I mean, we can wait
Well,
around that area in case.
I was going to say, depending on whatever they do, even if they do deliver it that day, it looks like there's only one way into this area.
Or the other thing to do, we know that it's going to be a week before it happens.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they would expect us to hit the van
yes.
to get the stuff. That gives us a week to come up with a plan, and I think even us can come up. We can come up with a plan in a week.
I mean,
And I think that we hit Translocation
we
the
could do
night
it.
before the delivery.
That's a good option. Or we could do it at the other end. We could hit the warehouse because we assume it's going to Firebirds. We don't like Firebirds, so we could actually. That's the other option. We could let the delivery happen, let the van go, then hit the warehouse where the delivery's gone.
But what happens if it doesn't? What happens if it doesn't? What happens if they had a look at seen what file we've had and said, right, we're gonna keep it for another 2 days, or we're going to send out a false delivery to where it's going. If we actually hit Translocation, we can kill two birds with one stone.
That's true.
We
I was
get
just
the
posting.
goods, and we can also get our stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with either. I was just suggesting a second option.
Billy Bob, what do you think?
Yeah.
The first one, hit Translocation.
Yeah. When we
Trying to get our
that
stuff
anyway.
back as well.
Wasn't that the plan in the first? Yeah,
I know you want your AK back.
I want my suit back.
I want my suit back as well. No, okay, yeah, no, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So what's the plan then? Sorry.
So
The plan is for us to come up with a plan and actually not hit the delivery truck,
Okay.
but once we know that because I take it these medical supplies aren't in Translocation now. They're going to be delivered to Translocation and then, within this next week. And then they're going to go out from Translocation to the...
Yes, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to work out the best plan that we can come up with to hit Translocation on the night before they're supposed to go out at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at getting back. We're going to look at getting the stuff, the medical supplies, but we're also going to monitor our gear, making sure that doesn't change locations, and hopefully that they don't go on a killing spree with Billy Bob's assault rifle and then frame him for murder.
Right, so the idea now is to raid Translocation the night before the stuff goes out, and
as
then
we know it, yeah.
and then grab the medical supplies directly from that, and grab your gear.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I was thinking, as a diversion, I know you can't hack the actual energy network itself, but would you be able to hack like the buildings around it, or to create an overload so we cut the power? I'm thinking of trying to how we can cut the power, or would there be an option to cut the power just to delivery to you manually, like actually cut the wires?
Why to delivery to you?
And not delivered to you, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Translocation.
Oh, translocation, yeah.
No,
Slip of the tongue, I meant translocation.
no. I ain't got a cat and mouse chance.
I mean, no, I'm not saying hack into. I said I know you can't hack into the security the electric grid itself, but would you be able to hack into other places to overload it?
To a substation.
Or would we be able to physically damage a substation to knock out the area, so then we can use that as a diversion? Because then all their security is going to be down. We can just walk in.
I think the problem that we would have with that would, one, knowing which substation it was operating under, and what we would need to do to actually overload it to cut down on the stuff. I would have no idea of.
What about your hacker friend?
If it was that easy to do, anybody would do it.
That's true.
You know, you would have everybody sort of like overloading substations just to.
Not everybody's an elite group of runners like yourself, though.
No.
You could actually. I was just thinking there in my head when you talk about substations. You could probably find out from contacts, if you had an appropriate contact, which substation did what, or via some kind of knowledge check. You could then maybe shut down that substation. You could do it, but the trouble would be that you would have to split your party, because you would need to send some people to the substation to somehow disable it. Well, some other people did the translocation hit, and with 3, that's not going to be yeah, because I think things like a substation is going to be heavily protected on the matrix, so I don't think FaZe would be able to hack into it, but it probably doesn't have guards. You know,
ask the wheelers if they would, if they could do that. Saying
I
it's
wonder
because
whether or
of
not it might just be easier to hire the equalizers to actually get the medical supplies and our stuff.
Well, I think it would be. It would be easier for you because
just more than we're getting there.
Well, no, you wouldn't pay them, and all that IDA would do, all you would say to IDA is you would say basically, "I'm sorry, we can't do this job," and she would say, "Fair enough, I'll get somebody else to do it." That's how it would work, wouldn't it? And then it would be, so there would be no transference of money. You see, it's not a case that you wouldn't do the job, but you would pay somebody else to do it. IDA would just go straight to the people and pay them direct. You know,
so we would say we can't do it, try these guys type thing.
Yeah, it's a bit like in the D&D game when, if you remember, the party didn't go into the buildings, the village, so somebody else did it. But you wouldn't be short of money, because it wouldn't be, oh, you paid them to do it. You would just say to IDA, "I'm sorry, we can't do it." And then that would be it.
We would be short of money because we would also want our equipment back when they...
And we need a new place.
Yeah, so what you could do is then you could say to the equalizers, "We would like to hire you to get our equipment back," or put almost like become fixers and put a call out there to say, "We are willing to pay X amount of thousands of credits for you to get our stuff back." And then all that would happen, it would just be round the opposite way. So Carrot, you would meet with people, and they, you know, like when you do your negotiation role, it would be exactly the same, but just round the, but they would be, the positives modifier would increase the money that you have to pay them. So you would just roll your normal dice roller, then they would roll theirs.
No, I mean, I think we're perfectly capable of doing it ourselves, providing we get the right plan. I was just suggesting a way we could cause distraction.
Yeah, or you could pay. So, I don't. I mean, I suppose you could pay somebody to try to cut out the electricity in the substation. You could, if that's what you need to do. But you've got quite a good understanding now of translocation. The negative side to it is that you've had a go at it already.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't know if you would plan to go into the Matrix again phase, but there'll be increased security now.
Yeah, well, there'll be increased Matrix physical and potentially magical security, which is one of the reasons why I suggested hitting the delivery location, because that might be less security. I mean, we wouldn't be able to get our stuff back straight away, but security-wise, it might be lighter.
So it sounds as if you got quite a few options here. So the options that you've got is that you can either say to Ida, we don't want to do the job. That would be the extreme. And say, we don't want to do the job. And that would be fine. You could then link to that. You can either hire somebody to get your stuff back, if that's what you wanted, or just think, we've lost it, end of. You could then, the next stage up is what you were saying about the van. You could actually hit the van somewhere away from translocation to try to get the medical supplies off it, but you wouldn't get your gear, because I don't think it's the sort of thing that I'll say, you open the van, the medical supplies there, and all your gear's there as well. I don't.
What would be the probability of that?
Personally,
yeah.
I'm guessing that what's her name's got our gear anyway. I don't think. Well, obviously it's at translocation, but I think she's got our gear.
Yeah. So the alternative is to. I mean, FaZe can always track the gear no matter what, because unless it gets reset to factory, and then he won't be able to. So that you could raid translocation. Steal the medical supplies and get the your gear back if it's there, but you would know that beforehand as long as it haven't been reset. But the negatives about that is that now that you've been in there once, the chances are that everything's going to be a little bit more powerful.
And that mage was pretty powerful. It's the same sort of level as me.
And of course the other extreme is to sort of like think, right, we can't get our stuff back, so rather than trying, we just say, we'll just buy new stuff. Or you could say we'll hire somebody to actually get our stuff back. And
with our gear, I mean, the only thing that concerns me with the gear is the implications of it being used by somebody else for something to frame us.
Yes.
So, for example, one of the things that they stole was a machine pistol that I had. Now, that belongs to me. Now, if somebody went and, killed somebody with it and left it there.
Left it at the site.
Yeah. But what can we do anything remotely to our equipment which would, prevent that from happening?
Well,
I mean, I know we wouldn't be able to sort of like erase the tag on it, because that's like an extended test that takes forever.
Here's a good question. Our place got broken into. Our stuff got stolen. Why haven't we phoned the police?
Because
it's some stuff might be a bit illegal.
I've got a machine pistol that isn't, which I don't have a license for, and it's restricted. You've got an AK which you have a license for, but the license that you have is a false license.
That's why.
And you already have a police record.
Yeah.
No, okay. So I say we see if we can hit translocation, potentially even hire the four-wheelers. Might they be interested in? We could ring them, see if they're interested in helping us hit it, because there might be stuff in their warehouses that they might want.
And the fact that all the stuff's going to the Firebirds, and we don't get on with the Firebirds.
So that's another option. We could hit that and see if we can get them to reinforce us, even if it's only one or two people that are interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we could potentially offer payment out of our payment from Ida as well. I don't mind giving up some of my money from Ida, because I wasn't going to go for the medical.
Yeah.
You're not giving up anything.
We're from all the walks of life here. We got the rich. I was living on the streets.
I'm really rich because I don't have to spend very much. But I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to give some money. If the four-wheelers want to help us, I'm happy to help pay them, and then they can then we take some of the medical supplies that we want. They can take what they want from the place. I'm happy for that, if you want to try that.
Okay, so the first thing we need to decide of is whether or not we're bothered about our equipment and the implications of Farah having it. If it's a case that we're just going to replace anything that she has, then there's no need for us to hit it at Translocate. The only thing that it probably goes in our favour for doing that is there's more chance of the goods being there, rather than it just being a false run that they do on the specified time and date that we have on the manifest.
From that point of view, from the point of view of the fact that both of you have got registered weapons to you there, or fake licensed weapons, and it's more likely to have the supplies there, I think we should try that. It's the more dangerous option. There's going to be higher levels of guards and that sort of thing. But I say that's probably the best thing to do. Equipment-wise, for me, the only thing that they've got there is my armored jacket and my armored suit. That's all they have of mine. Everything else I carry on me.
Right. They've got stuff like, RFID tags for mine. They've got a couple of cameras, but the main and whole load of spare ammunition. But the main thing would be, the main thing that I would be concerned about would be the weapon that they have.
Yeah, which is a very serious concern. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying we hit translocation. And then, as I said, potentially ask the four-wheelers if they want to join us. See how that goes. The worst thing I'm going to say is no.
Okay, I think the best way forward with this, guys, is, like you say, you have to come up with some kind of a plan here in order to hit translocation. So what I suggest we do is that we end the stream here tonight, because otherwise all the stream's going to be is you guys discussing, trying to come up, and you can always continue this in the Discord channel to see how you decide you want to go forward with it, which would be a good way. And then next week at 7 o'clock we can come in and actually do. Well, I will know by then, because for example, if you decide that you're not going to do anything, then I can make up a new adventure, a new set of new encounters for next week. If you just want to sort of like say about going off and doing not letting saying that Ida does the it's just sort of like saying to Ida, no, we'll leave this, or hitting translocation or whatever. So what I suggest we do is that we leave it there for tonight. You guys continue the discussion in Discord, and then then I'll know what you're actually planning on doing. And then if you want to take the four-wheelers in with you, then I can work on that, so I make sure that you've got a whole load of people with you. So we'll leave it there tonight, and you can carry on the discussion in the Discord chat, and then we can come back next week at 7 o'clock and finish it off. So do you want me to do the outros as well? Yeah. So we'll start down. Start there. So Big Beastie is now streaming. You can find him at Big Beastie, and all his Twitter, etc., is underneath his stream. Just go along to his Twitch page. He's doing quite a lot of 7 Days to Die, which is really exciting. I think you're doing the solo mode, are you, Big Beastie?
Yeah, I have been. I've been playing some solo as well.
Excellent.
I think he's affiliated as well, aren't you, Big?
Yes, he's affiliated as well. So you pop along and watch some 7 Days to Die over there. You'll also see him again on this channel on Saturday at 8 o'clock for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So by all means, pop back then. Longshanks EPG, you can find him there. Unfortunately, he can't actually stream at the present moment in time. So, but you'll find him in my channel and in the Discord, and also in everybody else's channel. And you'll also see him playing 7 Days to Die. So if either Big Beastie or Chuggerwugger are playing, or you'll see him in the background. I saw him run past in the video, just run past, which was absolutely fantastic. And Chuggerwugger doesn't stream, but he does play 7 Days to Die, and he has his own server. And if you go into the Discord, you'll see a chat there, and you can see his videos of what's happening. They were busy killing a big green thing the other night that I saw, which was highly exciting, and it took a while for them to get down. They have pipe bombs and grenades and everything as the when's the next big attack, guys?
56, day 56.
Day 56. So
6 more. We're just day 50 at the moment.
Day 50. So 6 more days. So it's worth going along. Just go over to the Discord and click on the Discord link, and you'll be able to see the videos of them actually doing that. My name's Inwills. You've been watching Shadowrun and the Back of Beyond. I will be back on Thursday when I will be leveling my Necromancer in Diablo 3, okay, and getting some more skeletons to follow me around and be ultra powerful, because I just love necromancy. Not the thing I would say at work, but here it's fine to say it. Here is absolutely fine to say it. I would just like to say to each and every one of you, thank you for coming along and watching this week's Shadowrun, even if you had no idea what was going on. And like I said in the chat, at times, neither do I. So anyway, I would just like to say thank you very much. And in my usual way, I would like to say, have fun, guys. And I'll catch you all later. And until then, consider yourself waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.